Hi friends, welcome to Live 365. Today's episode is about changing your relationship with food. Many people have a very unhealthy relationship with food, and many people realize that it's not that they don't realize that it actually is a relationship between you and what you're putting in your body. Many people do a lot of self-destructive things, such as impulse buy food, spending extra money on food for food that happens to be in attractive looking packaging. People have a total disconnect with where their food comes from. People seek comfort in food rather than fixing whatever is stressing them out, or seeking comfort in another way. People eat when they're not hungry. They overeat. They eat too much because they're at a social event. People, especially in America, are addicted to sugar and salt and cheese and dairy. People don't plan, and then they eat terribly because they eat on a whim. I mean, the list goes on and on. And so I wanted to offer a few things that you can do to sort of change the way you think about food and eating, and hopefully this will help you out. So the first thing that I always tell people, or I always ask people when they start to talk to me about their health and fitness goals, is I ask them, what does a typical day look like to you in terms of your eating? How's your nutrition? How is your water intake? So the first thing that I do is I journal my day. And it could be, writing it out, or it could be taking screenshots of it on your phone, or you could be, typing it out in your phone on an app, or keeping a log on a computer. It doesn't matter how you do it. But journal literally everything you have in a day. Not just, okay, I had this for breakfast, this for lunch, this for dinner. Well, are you forgetting about at work when you had that cookie because there were cookies in the break room? Or, how many cups of coffee did you have? Did you have cream and sugar in that coffee? And I'm not judging you if you are. I'm just saying, journal all of that intake, all of your snacks. How many ounces of water are you drinking per day? If you're not sure, you're probably not drinking enough water. And so go through every minute and journal exactly what you're eating and drinking in a day. From there, you can tell a couple of things. One, how much you're eating, obviously. If you're eating, really, really huge breakfast, lunch, and dinners, you might be overeating. But inversely, you can also tell how frequently or infrequently you're eating. Let's say, well, I skipped breakfast because I was running late, and then I was ravenous, so I ate like 5 burritos at lunch. And then there's this stretch of 8 hours before I was actually able to eat dinner because I was working so much. You're probably not eating frequently enough. So that's another thing that you can tell when you journal. So not only how much you eat, but how frequently or infrequently people eat. I find that people don't eat frequently enough, and then their metabolism goes into starvation mode, and then they wonder why they can't seem to shed some of the bloat or whatever. So also, you can begin to catalog if you're eating because you're hungry, or you plan to eat, or you're eating because of an outside motivator or stressor. Let's say I binge eat, Girl Scout cookies because I'm really stressed out one evening. Or let's say there's a bake sale and I felt guilty, so I bought a couple of baked goods, and then I have these baked goods, and then I'm going to eat them because I paid for them. Or let's say everybody went out to dinner one evening. My friends went out to dinner, and everybody ordered a bunch of appetizers, and they were right there, and they were too tempting, so I ate them. So there are a lot of outside factors that could cause us to eat rather than us eating because we plan to eat or eating because we're hungry. So journaling your intake can determine a few of those things, and it can really help shed some light on how you're making your decisions. Once you've recognized those general patterns, then it's easier to make a plan and stick to that plan because you know what might motivate you to make decisions to eat, various foods depending on how you're feeling during the day. So within making a plan and sticking to it, there are several ways to meal prep, to batch cook, and all of that. This video really isn't about that, but if you want to learn more about that, let me know. I host challenge groups all the time, and I provide a lot of information. So that's a helpful tool. But once you have your plan, try these couple of things and see how they work for you. Number one, try not eating out for 1 month. No restaurants, no takeout, no pizza on a Friday night because you've survived the week, no eating out with friends. If you want to hang out with friends, cool. Have them over, and then you can be in control over the foods that you cook for your friends. Or if you're going over to a friend's house and you think that they're going to cook something that that's not in alignment with your goals, one, tell your friends, you know what, I'm trying to eat healthily, just letting you know. Or two, bring over your own like snack or appetizer or something, or a side dish to bring, so you have a healthy option when you go over to a friend's house. So try it. Try not eating out for a month and see how that works for you. Two, throw away all processed foods or trigger foods for emotional eating. For example, I used to be totally addicted to creamy, cheesy things. I love mac and cheese. I love mac and cheese. I love Alfredo. I'm Italian. I love pasta. So mac and cheese, Alfredo, and ice cream were my 3 trigger foods. If they were in the house, I was gonna eat them, especially if I had a stressful day. I would eat whole boxes of mac and cheese, no problem. Not a problem. I wouldn't even worry about it. I ate it all up, and I knew that those 3 especially were trigger foods. So when I first started to get more conscious about my eating, I stopped buying them altogether. And I realized that when I went into the kitchen late at night because I was stressed out, I was looking for those foods. And when those foods weren't there, I then realized, oh, you know what? I'm not really that hungry. I'm actually just stressed out. So let me just fix what I'm stressed about rather than go for those foods. So it was really helpful for me. Also, when you're stressed, think about, why am I stressed? And how I can solve that in another way rather than going for that comfort food. Also, have a glass of water when you're stressed. It'll fill you up, and your body actually needs 20 minutes to determine whether it's full or not. So if you drink a glass of water, it sometimes it really helps. I find that especially if I'm craving sweets, sometimes that means that I'm just dehydrated. So I have a glass of water and I put some lemon in it, and I feel a lot better, and then I don't crave that sweet anymore. So actually, there are a lot of graphs out on the net about if you're craving one thing, it might mean that you have a nutritional deficiency in another way. But I find that the biggest one is that when I'm craving sweets, I'm dehydrated. So have a glass of water, put some lemon in it, make it interesting, or lime, or what have you, and see if that works for you. Find other soothing activities to replenish and restore your spirit rather than reaching for that comfort food. People want to have that warm and fuzzy feeling when they're stressed out. You can achieve the same thing by perhaps having a warm bath with some nice suds. Skip the glass of wine with the bath, but just have a nice warm bath. Go for a hike. Get a good workout in. Journal. Blog. Color. You know all those awesome new adult coloring books? They're so cool. I wanted to get one so bad at Barnes & Noble yesterday. Play games, spend time with friends and family. There are so many other things that you can do to soothe your angst and your stresses rather than reach for that comfort food. Wrap yourself in a nice warm blanket and have a glass of tea without a bunch of honey or milk or sugar in it. There are plenty of things that you can do besides reach for that food. Ask yourself, whenever you're reaching for a food, I want you to ask yourself this, and this is the most important one, I think. Are you reaching for that food because you're hungry? Are you reaching for that food because you plan to eat, and this is in your plan and you know what you're doing? Are you reaching for that food because you're stressed out and you're seeking comfort? Are you reaching for that food because of peer pressure, because you're surrounded by people who are also reaching for that food and you feel compelled to do so as well? What is the outside trigger for you reaching for that food? When you find that if you make a plan, it's a lot easier to determine, oh, I'm reaching for this food, I'm having a snack right now. This is my afternoon snack, I'm having an apple, I'm having some almonds, and that's in my plan. Great, no problem. And you find that, if you become more cognizant about why you're reaching for those foods, it's a lot easier to do it on your own terms. And to think of food as fuel and not as a reward. I got in my good workout, now I can have a piece of cake tonight. Well, no, that's not how that works. You already rewarded yourself by getting that workout in. The workout is a reward. The food that you put in your body isn't a reward for a job well done. The food that you put in your body is just fuel to get you through the day. It shouldn't be thought of as something on a pedestal or something to reward yourself for a job well done. If you switch that in your mindset, it's going to be so much easier for you to stick to your goals. And finally, if you slip up, if you have a piece of cake, or if you have a cupcake at work or something, don't beat yourself up. Life is way too short to spend time hating yourself and hating on your body and how sluggish you feel. Just recognize it, be like, you know what? Yeah, I had that cupcake at work because the cuties outside my door were selling cupcakes for their little bake sale, and you know what? I wanted to support them. I bought a cupcake. I ate that cupcake. That's my sugar content for the day. I'm not eating dessert later tonight, and I'm going to make better choices tomorrow. You only have today to realize your goals, and if you spend the day hating on yourself because of one little silly decision to eat some sugary food, then you're just completely robbing yourself of a good experience for that day. Try to realize why you're stressed. Try to sit and take a minute and recognize, what is my stress? What can I do to combat my stress? If there's nothing I can change about it, there's no use being stressed about it because it's out of my control. If it's something I can control, let's try to work towards bettering that stress. If I just feel overwhelmed for no reason, seek another way to self-soothe, and it doesn't have to be with food. Food is fuel. So I hope that these things help you in determining what your relationship is with food, and just generate more of an awareness of the decisions that you make every day so that you can start to make changes and feel good. I hope you guys have a great week. Take care.